And good afternoon. Happy Saturday. You'd think I'd remember this. May 28th, 2022. Heading into Memorial Day here in the States. You notice beard's a little messed up, hair's a little messed up. Been working on some stuff, working out in the yard. And hot water heater's leaking, so after the live stream, got to go get an 1.5-inch socket so that we can change one of the elements. It's leaking around the top element, so that'll be fun. But if you need IT consulting, you can reach out at williehowe.com, or if you want to reach out about anything else, all of our affiliate links are also below. And let's see, who is with us here this afternoon? JH, good morning. Jason's Lab is with us. DJ Ware. Jeremy, good afternoon. CH, Gibby. Ryuch, Ryan. Brian, good morning to everyone. So if you've got networking questions, make sure you're putting those in the comments. Yes, Jason, it's funny. So Jason says hot water tank. You don't heat hot water. No, it is a water heater, not a hot water heater, because you're right. You don't heat water that's already hot. So, so get next Saturday when we do the live stream, this will not be here. In fact, this view is going to be completely different. I'm going to shift this way. I got some sound dampening materials to put over the window, and I'm going to connect this bad boy to a TV, and I'm going to have a TV behind me scrolling stuff. So we can't get into a lot about this, but I did trade somebody some consulting time for this device since I can never seem to get my hands on it. If you've got those EA devices and you think I might be interested in them, let me know. All right, over to, it's still crooked. I don't know. Yeah, that's better. All right, over to the comments. Hey, Tony's in the house. Roger, Peter. JH says, I just watched your video on the Netgear M4300 switch. Do you still use that one? Yes. We do use that. That's top of the rack because it does layer 3. Handles it beautifully. It's a great switch, that M4300. So yes, we still use those. Good morning, Zvine. I don't know if I butchered that. Sorry if I did. From Brazil. All right, so one thing I want to talk about, I want you all to pipe in and let me know what you're thinking. But I got an email from Axis, and Axis invented IP cameras, and so they're always on the bleeding edge of what's going on. And Axis has always been on-prem first. You control the storage first, which is near and dear to my heart. And they are still pushing the envelope at the edge of the network. And they're right. They wrote this article, and I read it today, talking about how cameras and devices are orders of magnitude better than they used to be when it comes to processor, memory, storage. And so now we don't need the cloud to do a lot of these AI tasks. Specific tasks can be handed to devices at the edge. What do you think about that? I actually like that approach. Gibby says, this is a nice break. Been trying to figure out why WireGuard for Road Warriors on a MikroTik is working. I have MikroTik to MikroTik. Oh, why it's not working? Because you have MikroTik to MikroTik working. Any tips? I haven't done WireGuard yet on MikroTik. I got to get caught up. Ryu says, you have water heater. I almost said it again, Jason. You have water heater issues. I got pool issues. I'll trade you. Access cameras are They're the best. All right, Patrick says, question, I have a USG that keeps showing disconnected in the controller. When I SSH in, it shows connected. Controller is hosted in a Docker container. It comes and goes as it pleases, and it can't figure it out. So manually set the inform to what your IP is supposed to be. So go ahead, and even though the USG says it's connected, Patrick, go ahead and run another inform. We don't typically run Unify in a Docker. I know UNMS runs in a Docker. That may be how we're going to have to do it in the future, but yeah, do the set inform by hand again. Brian says, I got dehumidifier issues. That sucks. Yeah, we keep ours busy. Gibby says, Access is awesome. I still have a CCTV analog to network piece still working at some jobs. Yep. And JH says he's got boat issues. You know what boat stands for, right? Break out another 1,000. So, and Jason says NVR should be local, not in the cloud. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And so let's hop over. And I'm wondering if Ubiquiti is heading in this direction. So, by the way, affiliate links down below. If you're looking for a Dream Machine SE, a Dream Machine Pro, or a CloudKey Gen 2, they are in stock. But what I was looking at is the Unify Protect AI Bullet, right? So I'm wondering if, if that's why they're calling this the AI Bullet, because it's got, better hardware, and so it's going to be able to do more processing at the edge, which is really where I think we need to be. Let's see, product summary. So this camera, let's see, has a quad-core ARM Cortex A53 chip, 2 gigs of DDR4 memory, 8 gigs of onboard flash. So I'm going to have to say that this probably does have enough oomph to do some edge AI, edge computing, and offload that from the recorder, which would be fantastic. Good evening, Gina. JH says NVR should be on-prem, and I don't even like to virtualize them. No, there are certain things I don't like to virtualize, and I do not like to virtualize NVRs. That's for sure. Brian says, I could have replaced all of my APs to match my shiny new Grandstream 7660 with what I just spent on a dehumidifier. Yikes. By the way, Brian, how are you liking that AP? Did you get it out, get it programmed, and all that good jazz? Jason says, my Blue Iris has been virtualized for 4 years, not a single issue. 8 cameras running BI. Scale it to 64 and let us know how it works. Yeah. Yeah. Virtualization doesn't usually scale with, cameras are, here's what some people don't understand about NVRs and cameras, right? So what is kept, what is recorded, what we are archiving is selectively done in software. But how does it do it? The camera's not doing it now. Axis cameras and maybe this new Protect AI Bullet is going to have it, where they can record and then upload to the NVR. But in a normal setup, what's happening is you are constantly streaming from your camera to the NVR, and you are constantly reading and writing the discs, whether it's you're storing footage or whether you're deleting it, right? Because then the NVR software is deciding, okay, what stays permanently on these drives. So the I/O for cameras is much higher than what people realize. Brian says that he just set up his GWN 7660 this morning. Kicks butt, and he's impressed with it. Yeah, I think, I think you'll like it. I think you'll definitely like it. Also, Grandstream upgraded the firmware on this beta router that I have, and it went from a home, the firmware was kind of geared towards home users, and now it's geared towards business users. So I'm just waiting for the green flag to be able to do a video on that. JH says, it's death by 1,000 paper cuts with camera setups. You just got to triage as the best you can. Redeemer, good morning, and or not good morning, but evening or afternoon in Ireland. Thanks for stopping by. Quick question to you all. Any good suggestions for a travel router? I bought a Linksys router many years ago with WAN for LAN and the Wi-Fi the size of 2 cigarette packs, but it's only 2.4 gigahertz and no WPA. So is the 2.4 gigahertz, is that the killer for you? Because let's see here. MikroTik makes some travel, what I would consider could be travel routers. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Hold on a second before we go down this other rabbit hole. That is, where'd it go? Oh yeah, this one has it too. So this has 100 gigabit. So, if you haven't been looking at MikroTik, this is I think this one 10. This one must be 10 or 25 maybe. But definitely this one's 100 gig. So fantastic. There's their ruggedized, they call it the ultimate heavy duty home lab router. Here's one with all 10 gig. Okay. Ooh, the HAP AC3. So we kind of got lost there. Okay, so it's the lack of WPA that's the killer. Okay, well that's good. So what you could get, you could get you a HAP Mini because this supports WPA 2. You could do a HAP Lite. You could do the HAP Lite TC. The Map Lite right here. If you haven't seen my video on this, this is a fantastic router. If you go with the regular map for another $15, you get, dual chain 2.4 gigahertz with 2 Ethernet and PoE out. But one of these, and if you haven't, it's about the size of a book of matches. It's tiny. But yeah, this will do what you want because you can plug it in. You can make it a wireless repeater. You've got all kinds of options with this. Jason says, I have a small setup. That's why mine's in a VM. Yep. And, there are other folks that I've seen that, especially Blue Iris, they'll virtualize it because it's Windows. Ryu says, I agree. You don't want to virtualize an NVR, and I'm against using SSDs on NVRs. Yeah, SSDs take a beating in that case. Jason said, I just installed my 8-port SFP Plus MikroTik switch and love it. Yes. Yeah, this is what I would go with, either the Map or the Map Lite. They are fantastic. Jason says, Willie, can we do a video call next week and talk about Grandstream Wi-Fi stuff? Sure. Absolutely. Redeemer says, hi, Willie. It's Northern Ireland. Ireland is a different country jurisdiction. So I just learned about that last week. So a guy that I know, his wife is from Ireland. And we just had this conversation. I didn't know that was a thing, the Northern Ireland, until last week. Hey, Doug Dodge in the house. Gibby says, we use standalone CCTV system, local storage and NVR, but where I live, we have to be licensed to do camera systems under locksmithing license. So Gibby, that is similar. So I'm in Illinois, and in Illinois, you have to be licensed, bonded, and have your perk card to do security work, life safety stuff, and cameras fall under that. And you've got folks around here who will call the state on you and turn you in if you are not following the rules. So I do consulting, but outside of anything that I own or am in charge of, I don't hang cameras in the state of Illinois. Bob says gl.inet makes nice travel routers. Yeah. I've got one of those somewhere I bought to do a video on. I'll find it when I'm rearranging the office. Andrew says SSDs with NVR is not recommended. I only buy NVRs from a few suppliers with no drives, then buy my own surveillance spec drives from a decent supplier. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Alberto, hello. Thanks for the lessons on the UCM 6202 from Italy. You are welcome. UCM 6300 videos coming soon. Yeah, TP-Link does have that. TP-Link's got a travel router too. Gina gave us the part number, I think. Let me pull it up here real quick. That's the problem with TP-Link is their model numbers are, I mean, once you understand, but I mean, it's ridiculous. They're like a mile long. Yes. Yes, Gina, you are absolutely correct. And I think we've talked about this before. Look at this. TP-Link has a store. Well, that's interesting. You can buy direct from TP-Link. Huh. They're following in line with somebody else. All right, let's see. So this actually gets recommendations all over the place. In fact, I have this one somewhere. I'm looking at the shelf that you can't see because I got a bunch of this miscellaneous stuff on the shelf, but I know I have this exact router. So we'll have to do a video on it. Let's see. Andrew says, JH says, I use SSDs on my NVR setups for the OS and the SQL. Yeah. JH, what software are you running for your VMS? Andrew says, yes, in the UK we've had a few security locksmiths start moving into digital locks, door systems, and CCTV solutions, charged monthly and annual support. So good markup. Interesting. Jason says, I'll throw this down. Hike Vision camera fanboy. So, yeah, I mean, Hike Vision has impressive hardware, but their software, and the fact that they're owned by, they're majority owned by the Chinese government, that throws a wrench. Dahua and Hike Vision, you can't do those in the United States on federal installations, and a lot of that filters down to the states and municipalities. JH, I have taken Allied Telesys switches out of service, and there's somebody, I can't remember who it is. There's somebody on, I think it's Twitter, that keeps trying they keep telling Allied that they should send me some switches, and haven't had anything show up yet, but JH is using Genetech. I've heard of that one.